And what we are doing here, for those who are new, is that we're going through what's interesting, what's new. I have my own personal point of view on that, and not represent anything, but I am a developer, and I'm interested in doing AI. Exactly that, doing AI, not creating AI. So that is what we will talk about. And where I am different from other pieces of news is that I tried. So to begin with, this folder is called a learning path. If you click here, you will see what I call AI education. And it all started like about 2 years ago, probably, with some of the courses from Andrew Ng. But I'll show you what that list. By the way, that list is also open. You can get to that from your major link. So from that link, click here, webinar folder. That will be all the supporting slides and materials. And that will be the learning path. That's how I got here. Okay. And the structure here is, first of all, the name of the course, then what it is about in general. I really need to reformat it a little bit, at least like that. Just move to the left. But then it will be the link to the course. Most of those courses are free. That is the life today. How many of these courses are now? It's about 80. Now, I give them my own number just because that is the number they will get in my repository. So I take the course, I run it. I run their labs, then I copy them into my repository, which is open, you can get it. And I make sure it runs. Really, there is usually a file that's called how to run the very first time. There is also a file how to run every time after the first setup that creates your virtual environment in Python. It also tells you which keys you need. So most of these keys you would have to provide for yourself, but very often they're free keys, and sometimes there's some trial, so you can run it. So if you watch at the course, if you watch the course itself, what you see is a TV commercial of the wonderful and interesting technology. In here, well, that's what I use to then prepare my courses. When I have a course for something, like recently I taught AI for corporations. In other words, how do you implement your AI, but so that it should work as opposed to TV show? And how do you do it in a secure manner? And all of that. So I prepared these in a separate place. But these are all labs for everybody. They are available. We even do a quality check here. So if we go here, you see there are multiple people involved. They verify that it works, and then I finally accept it. That is the story in general. It's always there. But the story today is this. So first of all, uh, you guys asked last time. By the way, the most important, first of all, if you want to talk, just tell me enable. So far, text was sufficient. It worked. Anthony, hi. Okay. Now, I'm not asking what's the weather in Houston, but so many people are in Houston. I'll tell you what's the weather. It's wonderful. Now, closing that. So if you need to enable a conversation, you are welcome. But anyway, you can email and you can talk. All right, with that, we can start. You asked about SORA feature in ChatGPT. So honestly, I did one thing. I simply asked ChatGPT about what is this SORA. And that's not a joke. That's what I find when I do something. The only mistake that I do make lots of mistakes, but the only mistake that's related to what we're talking about is that I don't use enough AI. Well, here I did it. I'm not going to read through that. That's not important. I will only show that you can ask a question And then you can go to the top right here. Well, that's doesn't have the right link. But if you do the regular conversation, and here you can say prepare a link to share. That's what I did. That's what uh, I prepared. What's important about SORA is that it is multiple things. I don't understand why they called it SORA, and I thought it was Soros, but it's nothing to do with the billionaire. So what's important is that it does multiple things. It text, images, and other media. So rather than reading that you can do yourself, I'll show you. It will be much more fun. That's what I will do for that. By the way, somebody very nicely provided a YouTube. You can listen to that. I found it not for everybody who wants to waste their time listening, but I will show you. What I will show you is a specific way of working with AI. They call it Canvas. And I will try to do a little demo of Canvas. Now, personally, I think that it's great and quite there, right? So it's hard to even remember. And what I have is I prepared a few slides, but I'm going to use the slides only as a hint, only as a guide for me personally. So here you are, slides on the desktop. I will open that, and that will help me remember what to do. Okay, so it says that the first thing you need to do is start Canvas. So maybe you don't use it as yet, maybe you have not heard about this, but let's go to ChatGPT. Nowadays, you can go simple to chat.com. So you go to chat, and it's there. Verify which account you are running it, because you often ask me that question. Which account are you running? The answer is that it's here. I can be running my training company account, or I can be running my personal. So all kinds of philosophical questions I leave for my personal questions, but because it keeps the history. But here I ask all the practical questions, and that is where I do it. So I'm in ChatGPT like you all are, and now I ask the question. Question this. I can tell that search the web, which right away tells you something very important. There is a search the web tool. It's not just a phrase, search the web. No, it means that you're telling it to invoke a special tool. It's just that they packaged it in a nice, palatable form. The whole Canvas idea is just packaging it. It's still the same ChatGPT. All right. So search the web and list Van Gogh, however you pronounce it, Van Gogh, brushing techniques in bullet points. All right. So copying that, going here, and it's very nicely formatted a response. All right, but that's not something that is, well, AI is brand new and revolutionary, but that by itself is something that you know. So the next step I want to do is this. Note that we are using in fact, a web search tool. We didn't switch, we didn't say anything, but it's smart enough to switch into a tool to use. And then you can say, write a research essay. Okay. You will be expanding on each technique. All right, let's do this. Let's say this here, right there. Write a research on this. Now, what's happened? By the question, what happened, I mean this. It changed the format, right? It is writing an essay on each of Van Gogh's techniques, but where's my input? Not here. And what's going on the left? Well, this is Canvas. Canvas is packaged for the masses. Well, everything here is already for the masses, but it's packaged for masses who don't even know what to ask for. So you say, write an essay. It switches to the Canvas mode, And now you can say, okay, very good essay, but do something to it. So the essay is on the right, and it will keep changing that. You will see how it changes in a minute. You will see that. You add something, and that's how it will then look. All right. So what can I change? Let's go to the slides because that's a good idea to have those slides. What you can do, you can select a certain point and say, very interesting, but I don't trust you. Could you please verify that claim? All right, let's try that. So let's ask like this. So I'm selecting that, and now Ask GPT appears here. So I asked ChatGPT, and I'm saying, what did I say? Something like explain and give the sources. Okay, so I select it again. That appears. Explain. And I can even not say give me the sources. They should appear. Okay, so I push the enter key on the left here. It says research has been written. And where is that? I don't see the promise to explain. Okay. Explain and give sources. Maybe I clicked on the wrong thing. Let me do it here. Here, it explained, it proved the point. It says that impasto technique is, and then explanation, and I said it 2 times, so it did it 2 times. I just didn't notice that. And now it says, by the way, Van Gogh Museum, I'd really like to go there. Uh, well, that's because when I was teaching in person for 8 years, I was traveling the world nonstop. That was fun. So Van Gogh Museum, I really want to go there. And I click on the link. And that's Ontdek het leven en werk van Vincent van Gogh. What it should be, because Van Gogh is Dutch and his language would be Dutch. Very nice. Okay, thank you. I can, of course, translate, but no, we're not going to do that. We continue with AI and not get distracted into the things. And then he gives more and more sources. So that becomes you're talking to that and it helps you as a friend, as a brainstorming partner. All right. What else? Well, what else is that look on the right. It says notice, please. Okay, let's go there. Let's go on the right. There you are, on the right. You wouldn't even notice that until I told you. And that is, by the way, I don't know what it is, but that changes the level of the reader. So if I go all the way to the top, it says add emojis. If I go here, it says add final polish. But if I go here, it's reading level. Let me click on that reading level. And I can do this. I can keep the current reading level, which is kind of somewhere in the middle, or I can, that thing is in the way and I don't know what to do about that. So let me maybe resize that. Okay. That's how I can keep the reading level and make it. I need to click on something. Reading level, yes. Oh, up and down. Kindergarten. All the way up to graduate school. So of course, everybody will start with kindergarten. So here you are, kindergarten. I changed. Okay, it's changing the whole thing. It's telling you what it's changing. You see, we'll start. Okay, That is the document on the right. That's the canvas. That canvas is right here, and it will talk to the kindergarten. It's renowned for its vivid colors, and it's pretty hard to read. I wouldn't say it's so much of a kindergarten. Maybe I didn't do something, but you make mistakes. But it says I simplified the text. Okay, then go show me what you can do when we are in graduate school. All right, go. Graduate school, yes. So on the left, by now I know. On the left, I simplified, yes. And now it says I complicated that. Let's read it. Editing, you see that? Editing. Well, if you want for the grade, I mean, for the graduate school, it should be, should take some time. But now on the right, we have the edited text in a very, very graduate school level, a scholarly analysis. And then it begins to say contribution to post-impressionist art, emblematic of a, and so on. It's just too much to read. Well, you can delegate the reading to AI as well. And that is what I will show you a little later. But what I wanted to show is exactly that. You can keep editing, like you're an editor of a magazine and you're giving tasks to your subordinates. Do it better, do it this way, do it this way. Okay, we see that. That's not the end of it. Okay, you can say, show me. I want to visualize this technique in Dali, and we know Dali is a wonderful painter, but they stole his name and called it Dali, and that is now, give me an example. Okay, so I'm going there. I've never seen this impasto technique. I want to see it. And I'm saying, what am I saying? Visualize this technique in Dali images. Okay. Right? Visualize this in all right. It did it. Now, if I click on that, I get a bigger size picture. How close it to real Van Gogh? It says inspired by Van Gogh impasto technique. Well, whatever it is, what's important is that, yes, it will generate an image for you right here on the fly. It will react to whatever you're saying, and you didn't tell it to now go into use the tool, but in fact, that's what happened. It used the tool, one of its own Dali's tool, by the way, that seems to be a download. And if it is a download, I want to see that as a download. All right, here. It created a very nice picture. I'm just very impressed. That's all I can say. All right. Well, that is what I can say. That's part of SORA. The question was, what is the SORA doing for you? The answer is, well, it's doing a lot, but you can go to a canvas. Now, what I did is I used a magical phrase, write a research. That right away tells ChatGPT that it needs to use a canvas tool. But and it's very smart how they did it. They didn't say canvas. You can say canvas. It will also work. But they're very smart about when they bring additional tools to play so that it looks very transparent. You don't see when they switch to a new mode of thinking. In fact, they explain all of that to you. What I'm doing is I'm showing you something that they presented, and it's part of our courses. Since I'm sharing in the screen, I can show you. No, not here. Right here, in this list of learning path, that course is mentioned. And I only took a little part of that course, but in the last slides, they give you a little glimpse of an architecture of that whole SORA. Interesting only for the geeks. That's why I'm not doing it here. That's the painting that you can create. But now let's do something more practical. I'm preparing an AI course for the executives in a healthcare company. So what you do is you say, start a new canvas. All right, let's do that, exactly that. Say, start a new canvas. Start a new canvas. And it will tell you, okay, a new canvas has been started. What now? All right, what now? I will give you a picture, exactly that picture, and I will ask you to reason through the plot and write a research report. Now, what is this picture? Well, it looks like a business something something. And since that's not what I like doing or understand, I prepare the picture, I'll bring the picture in, and I will ask it to explain the picture to me. And I hope that will work well for the health insurance company executives. So I'm going back to the canvas and I have prepared that picture on my desktop. That's my picture. It's the same picture. And that picture I'm dropping into ChatGPT. And then I'm saying now, reason through that and just go on. You're the business executive, not me. All right, so what it did, should repeat the picture, but I didn't. But you know what the picture is. I'll try to say show the picture. But it talks about we have the sales targets by analysis, by region. Not only that, it has an opinion. It says performance, great, exceeds the target by 20%. In Europe, what? Missed the target, okay? In Asia, what? Plus 3%, and so on. Well, now, if I use that, I sound like an executive who understands, or at least pretends to understand what he's talking. If I can ask it, show my picture back. Will it show? What does it say? Cannot display within the canvas. Okay, but I know what I gave it. I know the picture. I see those wonderful things. Well, okay, and that was show number one. Now I'll show what the show number two will be, but before I do, the show number two will be Jumbo, a new transformer relative, and what it is, and I'll show you the link. But before I do this, I'm doing the following. I'm stopping my chat and muting myself and stopping the share, and I'm giving you the chance to ask questions. So stop the share, muting myself. All right, no questions. Let us continue. Therefore, share the screen again. And I want to show you Jumbo. What is Jumbo and what is that thing? So there's a new course. Every week there is at least one new course. There were a few weeks with 2 new courses. You can find that course. Should put a link there, but okay. I'm closing what's not there. But in the learning path, that's the late one. The last one right here. So I'll show it to you like that. I'll show you as the course. Now here, I have also started the beginning of copying my course into my repository, making sure it runs, but it's good enough to show you the course and talk a little bit about it. Then I'll talk about what I'm doing, not with that course, but in general, and that will be good enough. So for that, I will reshare. I will stop share, then I will share again. And this time, I'm sharing with the sound. So there you are. I'm sharing it with the sound, opening the course. And just let's listen to the very beginning.
Welcome to Build Long Context AI Apps with Jambo, built in partnership with AI21 Labs. The transformer architecture is the foundation of most large language models, but they're not efficient at processing long context lengths. There's an alternative to transformers called Member that could process very long input context by reading an arbitrary long context and compressing it to a fixed size representation. A lot of people have been excited about Member as a possible alternative or successor to the transformer. But researchers found that the pure Member architecture underperforms when the context is very long, since the compression mechanism causes it to lose information. AI21 developed a novel Jamba model that combines the traditional transformer with Member to take advantage of Member's efficiency and also the transformer's attention mechanism to help retrieve the right piece of information at the right time. In detail, one of the strengths of the transformer is that it compares every pair of input tokens to.
I'm sorry, Andrew, I'm stopping right here because I think that is good enough, but we need to talk and understand what it is. Well, first of all, it's yet more AI for you guys and girls. It is a special new AI. It's kind of a competitor to ChatGPT, not so much in the implementation, not the 10,000 GPUs that they use, not the billions of dollars valuations, but in the model, in the technology. And what problem it is to solve? It's reading long books. So reading long books, it's almost a meme. It's very funny. Greg, who is a COO, I believe, or some kind of ChatGPT, he mentioned one thing. I remember he said, summarizing books is very, very hard because who wants to read the book? That was kind of a provocative question because I just saw how people at the New York University talk about that as a big problem, that students today don't read books and so on. So that can start one kind of discussion. But what they do is exactly this. They teach AI how to read arbitrary long books, where, as is well known, current GPT would be having a problem. And in fact, current GPT is based on a transformer. GPT stands for generative, means it will talk a lot. Pre-train, GP, and transformer. Transformer, all of that is a bad name by now, but they have chat.com, so it doesn't matter. But generative transformer means that it's based on a certain architecture of AI called transformers. So forget all the current recurrent neural networks and all of them, transformer is the thing. But that transformer cannot read long books. So what do? They have an architecture called Mamba, obviously a play of words on a large amount of information, which does this. It zips up the book. It sounds funny, zip up the book and now read it in a zip format, but there is joke about that. The joke is based on Jeff Dean. So let's mention Jeff Dean. Here is Jeff Dean. We also want jokes about Jeff Dean or Jeff Dean facts. Okay, there are lots of funny things. I'll show you just a little bit of that. Jeff Dean pin is the last digit of pi. Okay, the joke is lost on those who don't remember pi by heart all the way to infinity, because pi is never ending and it doesn't have the last 4 digits. Okay, and Jeff gives a seminar at Stanford. It is so crowded that Don Knuth has to sit on the floor, and that's true. I do like that. But what I wanted to refer to, and you might want that link. Here you are. Many of them are super programmer. I have lots of books, and these are real. That is not background, but not what Jeff does, because what Jeff does, he writes his code directly into the zip file. Let me find it here. No, not here, but Jeff writes his code already compressed. All right. So because it's faster this way, Jeff, when he got a new keyboard, and did you see Jeff Dean himself? When he got a new keyboard, his output in lines of code increased 20 times because the new keyboard had a special interface where he was able to type 20 times more, and there you are, he did type 20 times more per second. That is the kind of jokes of what he talks about. So therefore, when they do the ergonomic evaluation in Jeff Dean's office, that is not to protect Jeff Dean, it's to protect the keyboard against Jeff Dean. All right, let's go back. What they do is take a book and essentially zip it up, but really they compress it in a very smart way. And now they can use it in learning, however big it is. Well, that's kind of amazing, but what we're talking about is already amazing. However, Mamba didn't quite work. And so they invented a new thing called Jamba. And now that Jamba works. That is what it is about. That is the essence of it. And that's the long and the short of it. Pun intended. But that's all I'm going to say now, because I haven't run it. I looked at it. I have to apologize that I didn't run it. And I didn't put it into the repository. So, well, I put it into the repository here, right? And you can even open that. Let's do it. There you are. I did put the major how to run the first time and the first lesson. I didn't obtain the key, I didn't run it. So I will do it, but I think the essence is there. The course is up for grabs. If you want to learn it, it's Learn It with Andrew Ng. That's the link right here. And if you want the link to the whole educational path, all right, it's right here. But let's go back a little bit. Let's go back at what I'm doing, and I might be revealing too much or maybe dull, but in any case, I'll go back to ChatGPT and I will tell you that I think, and many people think this way, that it's the year of AI implementation. Yes, of course, you have great magicians who do AI, but we mortals, we implement AI and we implement it for some practical purposes. So for that, I'm arranging a team, organizing a team that will work with me on that. And yesterday I said, well, the team needs a contract. So I think it's probably right here that I created the contract. It's somewhere here. And that contract, then I worked on the contract in Canvas. So I'm not showing it because maybe I shouldn't. Uh, in Canvas, and I got some feedback from real humans because it's a partnership. AI is not taking out us, we're not taking out them, but instead it's a partnership. And I'm planning to promote it. How much do I get out of that? We'll see. But we're starting kind of tomorrow, right? And wish me good luck. That should be fun because I think that that is where it's going. Uh, it was Sam Altman who was so much surprised that there are not more companies implementing AI, and so we're adding one more companies implementing AI. We are going to use what I do with you. We are going to use kind of your help because I run examples of what I'm doing in here. I use your feedback. I use the audience. So there is the idea that more than the students want to learn, the teacher wants to teach. And that is honestly what I'm doing. All right, I hope that's enough. I went through the what is this SORA. I also gave you the link. I also showed you a part of the SORA, that's Canvas. And I also showed you the Jumbo. So let's see if there are any more questions. Okay. Everyone, okay? Questions? You can always write to me, let's say Mark and Staya, if you have additional questions. But other than that, let me wish you a great weekend and a great week after that and a great year. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Sid. Thank you, Valley. Thank you, everybody who's saying thank you. It's just to me, and I hope we will do some fun things. All the best.